I'm Miss Rachel. It's great to have you dropping by today for our LakePoint Kids Online Family Experience. This is our last Sunday talking about a rather special word that we've been talking about all month long. It has 10 letters and it starts with the letter C, but it's not calculator or conductor. It's, drumroll please, compassion. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's needs. I'll count to 3 and we'll say it together. 1, 2, 3. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's needs. You know, we all have needs, whether we realize it or not, and one of our needs that we all have is our need for the sun. If we didn't have the sun, well, there wouldn't be any life on Earth. It'd be too cold for people and animals to live, and there'd be no sunlight to create food to grow. So the sun is a pretty big deal. How much do you know about the sun? Well, let's find out with our sunshine trivia. All right, the sun is made up of gases. Are they hydrogen and helium or diesel and premium? What do you think? The answer is hydrogen and helium. True or false, the sun is a planet? That's a tricky one. But I hope you said false because the sun is actually a star, but a much bigger star than we're used to seeing. The sun is super big. How many of our planet Earths could fit inside the sun? 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000? What do you think? Which one is it? Well, all of them seem almost unbelievable. However, the answer is more than 1,000,000 of our Earths could fit into the sun. Crazy. How long does it take for the light of the sun to reach the Earth? Is it 30 seconds, 5 minutes, or 8 minutes and 20 seconds? Give that some thought. What are you thinking? Well, I hope it was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. All right, yes or no? Do you think the entire surface of the sun is the same temperature? Well, the answer is no. Parts of the sun are actually cooler, only a mere 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit compared to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit for the rest of the sun. True or false? Humans have landed and walked on the moon, but we aren't able to do that with the sun. What do you think? Well, the answer is true because it's too hot, of course. All right, last one. Can you ever see the same sunset twice? Is it possible? Turns out it's not, as no two sunsets are the same. Each one is different thanks to the clouds, colors, and conditions. All right, so clearly the sun is a pretty big deal, and yet as big and powerful as it is not the biggest light in the world, the most powerful light in the world. That, my friends, belongs to none other than, drumroll please, Jesus. Jesus is the light of the world. His love shines like a light. And when we love like Jesus, when we care about others, when we show compassion, we are shining like a light too. That's why compassion is so important. Our actions and words can reflect Jesus to people. You can point them to Jesus. You can make them curious about Jesus. See, it's not just enough that you know about Jesus, how God sent his son to the world because God loved the world so much, and that Jesus came to die for all of our sins so we could have forgiveness and have this right relationship with God. The thing is, God wants everyone to know this, the entire world. So because of that, the Bible has a job for you, and this is what it is. Let your light shine so others can see it. Then they will see the good things you do, and it will bring glory to your Father who is in heaven. Matthew 5, verse 16, Nerve. When you shine with compassion, when you shine with love, you are representing Jesus to the world so they can learn about him and start a relationship with him. All right, it's your turn to say the verse now. See if you can do it while leapfrogging, toe touching, and finger snapping. So compassion, what is that again? Well, compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's needs. And our bottom line, or our focus point of today, is something we've already mentioned. It is that Jesus is the light of the world. Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Jesus is the light of the world. I know, I have a bright idea. Let's go learn more about that with our friends at the Story Lab.
Welcome to Story Lab. This week we're taking a look at the very brightest light of all time.
Hey, Zeke, have you...
You're gonna need this.
What? Why? Oh, that's why.
Hey, I'm Zeke.
And I'm Carter.
And all month, we're talking about how trusting and following Jesus changes the way we treat others.
Thanks for treating me to these shades. By the way, want to explain?
Well, it's been rainy and overcast where we are for about a decade now.
Just 12 days.
Long days.
Monsoon season.
How much more rain can there be?
Another week?
Oh.
Yeah, it's got me down too.
Well, it's time to take matters into our own hands. Behold!
Yeah, we can see a lamp.
Not just a lamp. This is a 10,000 lux sun lamp.
Oh, I got you now.
Friends, do not look directly at a sun lamp. Keep it to one side, like this.
Wise words.
No matter how dark things get, 30 minutes in front of this sweet model can trigger the release of serotonin in your brain, just like real sunlight.
Serotonin is a chemical in your body that helps you feel happy. It can make you more focused, emotionally stable, and calmer.
Thank you, cheerful, disembodied voice.
Extra happy to help.
See, the lamp is working for everyone.
We might as well do something with all this awesome sunlight.
Like what?
Sun catcher?
Sun catcher, I'm in.
Let's make it!
We shall now capture and distill the very essence of the sun into this ordinary bottle.
That's not what we're doing.
Oh.
Step 1. Gather all your old, used up, broken up crayons.
So many memories.
Make sure to remove any paper that's left, and then you're going to shred those crayons.
You gotta think bigger, my friend.
Oh, that'll work too.
Okay, what next?
Step 2, lay down a sheet of parchment paper. Here you are.
Thank you.
Now, sprinkle a layer of crayon shavings all over your parchment. Next, layer a second sheet of parchment on the top. You'll want to tape it down.
On it.
Step 3, you'll need a hairdryer because things are about to heat up in here. It's time to melt those crayons.
All right, what's the next step?
All right, step 4, take your sheet of melted crayons and cut out shapes. You can do one big shape or you can do lots of little shapes. Use your imagination.
And done.
Great. All you gotta do now is hang up your sun catchers with string and clear tape.
Oh, very cool. You're using a shower of raindrops to catch some rays.
A little light can make all the difference.
Speaking of light, it's time for...
The story before the story.
Today, we're in the book of John, one of the 4 gospels that tells about the life of Jesus.
John was one of Jesus' closest friends, right in the middle of everything.
John wrote down what he saw and heard to help us understand who Jesus truly is.
The Son of God.
John recorded these stories in a really cool way.
He shared about several signs or miracles that Jesus did.
And John also wrote down specific things that Jesus said about himself, what we call the I am phrases.
Which is where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian. Today we're going to dive into something incredible that Jesus said. But first, we're going to go back to an earlier time. See, John didn't start his story of Jesus with the manger and shepherds and angels, John began with the very beginning. John wrote that God created everything in the whole universe through Jesus. From before the dawn of time, Jesus has been the source of all life and light.
The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not overcome the light.
Light shows up throughout God's story. Hundreds of years before Jesus was born as a baby, Isaiah wrote of a bright light to come.
The people who are now living in darkness will see a great light. They are now living in a very dark land, but a light will shine on them.
And when Jesus was born, God's people were still waiting for that light. Many of them expected a splendid king who would defeat their enemies in a blaze of glory. But Jesus arrived as a tiny baby. He grew up as a humble carpenter. As Jesus began to travel and teach, he started to shine God's light in a very different way. In John, we read how Jesus turned water into the very best wine so a wedding celebration could continue. He spent time with people who were considered outcasts and showed them God's love. Jesus healed a man who had been sick and unable to walk for 38 years. Jesus fed more than 5,000 people using just 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. He even walked on water. All of these signs began to paint a picture of who Jesus is. Anytime that Jesus saw a need, he did something about it. But the religious leaders weren't happy with Jesus. He was changing the way they'd always done things, and he didn't back down when they challenged him. Jesus said,
I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will never walk in darkness. They will have that light. They will have life.
I am the light of the world. Jesus was telling the religious leaders and everybody else that he is God's rescuer, sent to bring light to a dark world. So what does it mean for us that Jesus is the light of the world? Well, when it's dark, yikes! You don't know which way to go, it's confusing, you might bump into a wall or walk right over the edge of a cliff. We need light so we can see the path ahead and know where to go. Jesus brings light to guide us in the right direction. We need Jesus to help us make wise choices. The light that Jesus brings can also help us grow. Just like a plant needs light to thrive, we need God's light to show the places where we can grow to become more like Jesus. But even more than guiding us and helping us grow, the light of Jesus meets our greatest need. See, we've all done wrong things that hurt others and break our relationship with God. This is called sin, and we can't fix it on our own. It's like living in the dark. But Jesus came to take the consequences of our sin and bring us back to a relationship with God. When we turn away from the wrong things we've done and choose to follow Jesus, it's as if He shines a bright light into our hearts and our lives. As Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will never walk in darkness. They will have that light. They will have life. And that is the end.
Jesus is the light of the world. What a cool word picture.
Dare I say this has been a light bulb moment?
For reals.
There's nothing so dark that Jesus can't bring light to it.
So, what's our part in the story?
Well, we all need light in our lives. Every single one of us has done wrong things that hurt others and break our relationship with God. And we can't fix that. But God saw our need and sent Jesus to be light in our darkness. When we choose to follow Jesus, we can live with God forever.
It's the most amazing show of compassion ever.
And compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's needs.
God met our greatest need, and we don't just need the light of Jesus one time.
We need it over and over every day of our lives.
When you face a tough decision and don't know which way to go, you can ask Jesus for wisdom.
To shed a little light on things.
You can also ask God to show you where you need to change to become more like Jesus.
Like growing in kindness or patience.
I could use a little light in those places for sure.
I think we all can. See you next time.
So, here's the thing. Jesus is the light of the world.
Even when it's been raining for 12 days straight.
Especially when it's been raining for 12 days straight.
Ready?
Ready.
Hit it.
Thanks for joining us in the Story Lab. See you next time.
It's time to bring it home now with our small group time, so long as your parent listened to today's instructions. First, have a discussion and share what it means to you that Jesus is the light of the world. And how does his light help you grow? And how did Jesus meet our greatest need? All right, press pause, enjoy a discussion, and then come back for the second set of instructions. Next, grab a flashlight and turn off the lights. Have one person shine the flashlight onto the feet of different people. When the light is on your feet, answer the question, how has Jesus proven to be a light, either in your life, the life of someone you know, or in the Bible? Switch it up so other people can have a turn shining the light as well. Parents, now's the time to either scan the QR code on the screen or head on over to the LakePoint app to build our online connection card. Signing our guest book lets us know who's watching and helps us stay connected to you. It also allows you to sign up for our latest LakePoint initiatives and opportunities. So kids, while your parents are busy doing that, why don't you hop and twist with our 60-second countdown. Reminder that you can go back and watch your favorite LakePoint Kids online family experiences on our YouTube channel or on our LakePoint app in the Family Resources section. Thanks for tuning in today, friends. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Remember, Jesus is the light of the world.